Well, I didn't think I'd be saying this, but Ruud van Nistelrooy's Manchester United are going to be walking out at Old Trafford on Wednesday night to play Leicester in the League Cup. Erik ten Hag has been sacked. Van Nistelrooy has been appointed interim manager. Ruben Amorim looks like he's going to be our next permanent manager. Things are moving fast. Ruud's going to have how many games? Maybe 4 until the next international break. I'm going to run through what I expect to see against Leicester. Any tactical changes, I'll show you the way that he likes to play. I'm going to run through my predicted 11 and also my prediction. Get yours in the comments. I'm looking forward to seeing Ruud in the dugout as United boss. It's probably getting well, it will be for a short time. But after the season we've had, just expect there will be a bounce. Of course there will be. I'm looking forward to it. All right. In terms of his approach, right, we take a look back at how Van Nistelrooy's PSV played. And in terms of in possession, it's a very similar setup there to how we probably saw United play their best game against Crystal Palace. 3 at the back, left back pushing up, creating the overload going forward. Out of possession, the same formation that United have been adopting. 4-2-3-1 on paper. In a compact form, and he does put a bit of emphasis on compactness, so maybe expect to see that against Leicester, closing the spaces between the lines, maybe dropping into that 4-2-4 shape when you want to stay compact, and also a bit of zonal pressing. So if the ball's over on the left, using that as a trigger point to shift over to the left-hand side, and the whole team moving across together, maybe instead of the erratic front press that we had. I think so anyway. Now, Van Nistelrooy loves playing with real width, so I wonder if we'll see that against Leicester. I'm not particularly sure that maybe you will, right? This was the team that we played against West Ham. And I'm going to pick out a couple of players to focus on and a couple of changes I think that will happen. There's not going to be that many changes. Maybe there'll be a change in approach. Maybe there'll be the bounce that all the players get. We know that. But before I get into the game, there's something I quickly want to say. Now, I just want to say a big thank you to Betterhelp for joining United People's TV as a paid partner. Now, Betterhelp is an online platform which will help you connect to a therapist. Don't just listen to the taboos, you can't speak to anyone. Honestly, it's such an outdated point of view. And I can speak from experience. I was in a place where I needed to speak to someone, couldn't really speak to family or friends. I used Betterhelp, and it worked. Connected me with a therapist, and they really, really helped me, because speaking is so much better than just keeping it locked inside, which is kind of an old school chain of thought, in my opinion. And BetterHelp itself is a platform that is designed to make it easier for you to connect to therapists. Got over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 star rating on Trustpilot. You can trust it. And I can tell you that you can trust it because I've used it myself. You just go on the app, answer a few questions, and it should connect you to a therapist. And if you are struggling, there's nothing wrong with struggling. But if you feel like you want to speak to somebody, you can click the link in the description or follow the link on screen here, betterhelp.com/United People's TV. You can get a community discount that's just for our community. And yeah, honestly, if you're thinking about it, maybe BetterHelp is the way for you to get therapy, and it will help. Right then, let's have a look at this team. Now, I think there will be some I don't think there's going to be loads of changes, all right? It's not going to shift the whole thing out. I imagine there'll be a change in probably the attitude of the players. They'll get that buzz that they always get when a manager goes and a new manager comes in. There will be a bounce. I reckon we see this, though. I think we see Harry Maas make his Manchester United debut. A natural left back. If we're looking at that as the system, 3 at the back playing out, Deleuze staying back, Amas going forward. This feels like the right game for Amas to make his debut. Van Nistelrooy's first game in charge. Old Trafford will be buzzing. It's a home game. It's a League Cup game. That's the sort of environment you can bring a youngster like Amas in to make his debut and not be that sort of toxic atmosphere where expectation is there immediately and you can't make any mistakes because the manager's under pressure. I'd love to see Amas make his debut and come in at left back. And in midfield, I think it kind of picks itself. Or maybe it doesn't, I'll be totally honest. I think it'll be Ugarte and Eriksen. Could Ruud go with a mega youthful team and go for a midfield which really has more legs than Eriksen and Casemiro can offer? Would it be less creative going forward? Sure. But if you take the emphasis away from those two central midfielders to create, maybe you play out and go down through the wings, then you don't need as much creation through the middle. Sorry, Let's play a couple of youth players. I'm going to play Collier and I'll play Amas. All right. Now, one player, if I was going to choose just one individual who I think is going to enjoy himself in these next few games, I think it's going to be Marcus Rashford. And this is the switch I would imagine we see up front. I think we see Rashford come to his favoured position on that left-hand side, and I think we see Garnacho going out to the right-hand side. I'd love to see Rasmus Højlund all of a sudden just burst with a couple of goals against Leicester, sod it a couple of goals against Chelsea, enjoys himself. And if I was Højlund, I'd be thinking, I've got probably maximum 4 games, depending on what goes on with the Amorim situation. Bear in mind, David Ornstein said it's in like final talks. So it could well be that he's in by the Ipswich game, which is after next international break. And in that sense, Højlund might say to himself, I've got 4 games to play as United striker under Ruud van Nistelrooy at Old Trafford. 4 home games, no doubt. That's a buzz. Take that. Same thing goes for Marcus Rashford. Just make some memories. Just enjoy yourself. And the players will... We saw it under Mourinho. The first game, it was Cardiff, and it was, 5-1? There's going to be that release that comes with not playing under the manager where the pressure existed in the situation. Well, it was kind of spiralling downwards, let's be totally honest. But that would be the starting 11 I'm going to go for. I think he's going to play play a natural left back, and give him the opportunity. I just think this is the right time. This really is the right time. No more of... He might play Mazraoui on the right, but nah. Well, actually, no, you could play Mazraoui on the right. Doesn't really matter. But I want to see Amas. Collier might be a bit of a weird shout. You might see Eriksen playing there. But Rashford out to the left, Garnacho on the right, Højlund through the middle, and Ruud in the dugout. And sod it. I'm going 4-1. I'm going 4-1 United. I'm going for Old Trafford to be rocking, to be bouncing, and for United to come to life at Old Trafford. Because this team is so much better than we have seen this season. I'm convinced of that. And I'd love to see Amas make his debut. That's my prediction. I think it's going to be a fun game on Wednesday. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below. But if Ruud's only going to be here for a few games, and we're only going to see him in the dugout as United manager for a few games, I hope Ruud and the players make it a few games to remember in a good way.